Hello, happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome. I am Meredith. I am here with our message for the 14th of May, 2025. Struggling with the date this week. Anyway, we have the sun in Taurus, the moon's in Sagittarius. This is the last day of our Scorpio full moon phase. And then we have Pluto in retrograde. We have Wild Reflections Tarot on the table as we tune into the energy atmosphere to see what's on offer to us today and how we might engage it and navigate it. Our first card is Queen of Cups. Not too shabby, folks. I think we recently saw the King of Cups. Regardless, the energy of intuition is strong, even when it's subtle. And the cards have been for so many weeks turning us back again and again and again to our intuitive blessings and gifts. And here we start with the Queen. So she's all about the heart center too, like the King. This is a card that brings us into heart-mind coherence. What is that, right? Someone will ask me. And I know I've mentioned it before. However, for those new to class at the tarot table, heart-mind coherence is void of judgment and void of ego. It is a synchronistic harmonization of one's soulful presence and one's waking consciousness. So in heart-mind coherence, we act from or animate from or initiate from our soulful presence. And we bring this energy into everything that we do. There is no room for ego voice there. And that's what I'm feeling so strongly in this card today. Heart, mind, coherence. What is she paired with? Ten of Pentacles, the legacy of happiness. Gosh, we've been on that topic again for weeks. The cards have been spelling out a little bit of a how-to manual with our manifestation, with our self-relationship, especially because everything we think is something that we manifest. So let's just say you're having a little bit of a, I can do it, lots of courage, lots of confidence, oh, maybe not. And then self-doubt, right? Those two cancel each other out. So invest more of your energy into positive thought. Seriously, if you can just do 17 seconds of positive thought, you already turn the tide in a direction that's so much more favorable to you in a manifestation scenario. So heart-mind coherence, no room for ego, no room for judgment, and at the very least, 17 seconds of positive focused intention with heart-mind coherence. See what kind of magic you can make. And furthermore, speaking of magic, here is an experiment for you to do. I have been for many weeks talking with the universe, sharing with the universe, and issuing the following statement: show me the magic. And yesterday I switched it up to show me my magic, because in conversation with one of my besties, we were talking about how this beautiful physical vessel that we occupy with our soulful presence, right, is a magical avatar. And most of us don't have any idea how to engage that. So ask yourself, ask your all-knowing, soulful, eternal self, show me my magic. So I did that on at least 3 occasions yesterday, and small miracles happened. So the details don't matter. The simple fact is that I did it, and something different really happened that brought me a lot of joy. So check it out, experiment with it, and see what happens in your world. So heart-mind coherence. Next card, Knight of Pentacles. You got to love this Knight. Attention to detail is so, so important when you see this Knight. All nights move energies between cards. So we're moving in our heart-mind coherence and in our legacy of happiness. And where are we going? Oh, hey, speaking of judgment, there it is. Yes, see? Show me the magic. Show me my magic. And here it is, judgment card. Fascinating. So this is a resurrection energy when you see this card. And we may be, we've seen the Three of Swords a number of times recently, right? And the Three of Swords may be a catalyst to something that requires a little bit of resurrection so that we can let it go. We can tell ourselves the truth because we're all really good at revisionist history when it comes to what our ego has to say. We usually justify and make ourselves a right fighter in a situation or circumstance as we replay it. Have you ever attempted to judge nothing? Another thing I had in conversation with one of my besties yesterday, and here's an example. Here's an example of judgment. Yuck. Okay, so I received a letter in the mail, and it wasn't news that I wanted at all, and it's indicative of quite a journey that I have to undertake to reverse that message that I got in the mail. So I thought, all right, the way through this is love. I still had an ego reaction though. So to take my own advice and to take the advice of the cards, I challenged myself in that moment. What is it that my ego wants to say about this? So I let that all come up. I allowed myself to love it and see this as an opportunity, not a problem, not a challenge. It's an opportunity, perhaps even for something better. Though as I stare at that letter, there's a part of me that still feels the bubbling up of anger and frustration. So validation is important here, not judgment, not judging the origin of the letter or the person who wrote it or whatever. Then later, I found I wanted to talk to one of my other besties and tell her this story. And I thought that's further judgment because now I'm gossiping, and that's what the ego wants. It's a fearful, there's some sort of energetic fix on that doesn't feel good. So I share that because these are all nuances that can influence our ability to bring our legacy of happiness to life and to light on our foundation. If we are focused on something that we see as a problem or a challenge, the ego gets involved. Instead, let's take a different look at the roadmap here. Thank you, Knight of Pentacles, and create a new destination, a new direction for ourselves and say, all right, these are only details. How am I going to lovingly and with courage and confidence work my way through them? Because I have loads of experience. We talk about that all the time. How much experience we have this far in the journey. Use it and use it powerfully. And we have the moon. Oh, perfect. See things in a different light. And that's what the moon's all about. It's intuitive. So we have a great connection to the Queen of Cups. There is incoming information. Intuitive information will be illuminated for you and in a way you don't necessarily expect. The moon is borrowed light of the sun, and it casts a whole different perspective on our landscape, on our horizon. So stay open to your legacy of happiness. Embrace any judgments you have with love and let them go. And no negative self-talk. That's what this card's about too. Don't resurrect details of the past in a problematic sort of way. If you're going to resurrect them at all, use the experience of it because it may be very valid to whatever steps you have to take next. So we start with the Queen and we end with the Queen. Now we've got the Queen of Wands, the main body of the reading. Perfect, because these two queens together are just dynamite with these cards in between. So the Queen of Wands is representative of the receptivity in the suit of Wands. We're receptive to our passion, our creativity, enthusiasm, motivation, you name it. We've got the fire for it. This is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So we're going to have some probably uncommon, previously not considered energies reveal themselves to us in a way that has us use our energies and experiences of the past to influence the now in a much more positive way. Whew, that's amazing. Bottom of the deck. How is the universe helping us out behind the scenes? I like that. Chariot showing up again. Number 7 out of the major arcana. So heaven touching earth. And this is us dynamically moving onward within our ripple effect, connected to our intuitive legacy of happiness that we are in creation with and for in the now. So we're going to charge right through any of these old judgments, old stories that show up, because we're going to look at them with authenticity and raw appreciation for the experience. And then we're going to turn that energy on whatever situation or circumstance that we need to. Then we have the 8 of Swords. This is a card about setting oneself free from a mental trap. I love the artwork on this card because she's looking into her own reflection and seeing the trap. And I have the sense that that's the lesson that judgment is bringing us. We don't think we're bound up or still nurturing an old wound by feeding it the energy of our ego. And then we can see in the mirror, or someone else points out for us, how we're keeping something of the past alive in the now that's limiting us. Beautiful. So that's going to happen swiftly. And it's going to be like heaven touching earth for us, because we'll have the epiphany and the aha. And the universe, Wheel of Fortune, another 10, right here in the reading on the bottom of the deck. Everything's turning in your favor, which is wonderful, though the Wheel of Fortune is delivering exactly the kind of scenario that's going to give you the epiphany. Page of Cups, which also frees up your manifestation. The Page of Cups is a huge manifestation card. It's our love, bliss, joy, and happiness overflowing in a new venture, in a new direction, which is what we were talking about over here. And then we have beautiful Ace of Wands. We want that fire, passion, creativity, all those good things. We need the ambition and the motivation to move past this old way of considering, thinking, and or being in contemplative thought with ourselves. Oh, look what's underneath that. That 3 of Swords is just not too far away from us. That's okay. 9 of Wands after that. You have the endurance. You have the fortitude to go the distance with whatever that 3 of Swords is dishing up for you. The Devil is after that. This is perfect because we need the endurance, the fortitude, and the pure raw grit to get over ourselves here. You know, allowing the ego to rule over our judgments is like putting on a blindfold and just unequivocally deciding things are fixed in a certain way. That's what traps us. And that's what we're on about here. We're setting ourselves free from limited ways of being, thinking, and doing. We're all about liberation. So step up to the mirror, take a look at yourself lovingly, and see where you hold judgment for yourself, your journey, your manifestation, judgment for others and situations and circumstances, and then empower yourself with all of your divinity. Yeah, that makes you unstoppable. Angels. What's this one? Oh my gosh, I use this deck every day and I can't even think of the name of it. All right, put a question to the deck. That's just really funny. All right, put a question if you have one. Let these cards be confirmation for you or a fresh message. Ooh, they're flying out of the deck. I like that we have an emphatic no there. That's what you want to say to the ego. And the Devil card. Do it with some, deliberate energy, though. Be deliberate about it. Forgiveness, the Ho'oponopono. Yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Ho'oponopono prayer. You bring that to anything you encounter within yourself in terms of judgment or the way you've shackled yourself to an old way of being. Bring the love. Ask for help from others. Talk to your besties, definitely. And then emphatically don't stop. Don't quit now. Excuse me. One more. And this one again, the situation will improve. Beautiful. Of course it will. Because you're going to shift the frequency of anything that you feel limited within. Angels and ancestors. How is our soulful presence informing our waking consciousness? Mother Earth. Feel loved and comforted. Yeah. This is the oracle equivalent to the Empress. We're in a cycle of change, and it's change we've asked for. And we've been talking about the changes quite a bit lately, and how when they're upon us, sometimes we resist them, even though it's the very thing we've asked for, right? So deliver yourself from an old way of being that limits you, and embrace your legacy of happiness, warts and all. Whatever your judgments may be, check yourself when you discover you're judging something and ask yourself why. And what's the better energy? And then contribute that. 17 seconds, that's all you need. If that's all you can manage, that's all you need. Give yourself 17 seconds. Do more if you can, because it will create even better rewards and an even more wonderful ripple effect. And peace, love, happiness, laughter, joy. Namaste.